And there's only one way to find out.
You're not going to just call him.
GusH, please.
Toro.
I hear you've been gossiping about me behind my back. I don't like it.
Who is this?
Blake Marler.
Oh, well, you know, I'd much prefer to gossip to your face, but your ex-non-husband, or whatever you want to call him, has made his feelings quite clear.
Yeah, well, my ex-husband, or whatever I call him, is too busy to care because of the mess you created for Danny.
Oh, well, I'm sorry about that, but, you know, it's a living.
If you're so eager to find out more about my source, why don't you just ask me directly?
How about, 15 minutes?
20.
All right, as long as you wear that little negligee that you wore before.
Not part of the deal.
Well, maybe that's negotiable once I get there.
I don't mean to throw you out or anything, but I can't work Gus over with an audience. And, the boys, would you just take them for one more hour?
Honey, you worry me.
Mom, who taught me that you do what you have to do for a story?
What is it you think you have to do?
Oh, this is strictly a professional fact-finding meeting. Where are we going?
You're not going anywhere. I think I'm on to something. So I'll see you
What?
later. Look, if anything comes up, just take care of business. Okay?
What about the,
What about the what? You just take, if anything happens, you're in charge. Just handle it, all right?
You want to tell me where you're going?
No.
Okay.
I'm so disappointed. Your greeting earlier was so much more visual.
Well, it was meant to be, but not for you. Thank you, by the way, for going out of your way for wrecking my anniversary.
Well, me? That wasn't me. You have to be sure you get the right guy.
I had very big plans for Ross the minute you arrested Danny. Now, is that a coincidence?
I'm just a silly man who happens to be a federal agent, and I'm trying to do my job. How can I let murderers walk the streets when I've got evidence that can put them away?
Timing was kind of obvious, don't you think?
Like, I'd never do anything to cause you trouble. Forget about Ross. Look, you are quickly becoming my very favorite author, and you have a source and some material that helped you with that book, and you ran with it. That was great.
I had no idea you were such a big fan.
Well, I am. And I'm growing bigger by the second. Look, you have a source. Just tell me the source. Tell me how I can get in touch with it.
I'd write it down, but I don't have a pen.
I have been running all over this town trying to get a handle on this thing, okay?
I know. You've been alienating half of my friends.
No, it's not. They just get testy when I ask them. They all pretend like they don't know anything, which tells me they're on the defenses, which tells me that you are onto something. I just want to know.
Or I have very good friends, something you probably don't know anything about.
I can be an excellent friend. That's something that you don't know about, and then I can prove it. Just give me a chance to prove that.
You want to be a friend? Stop harassing my pals for information you will not get.
Well, that's the other side of me that you don't know. At the end of the day, I always get what I want.
I know you enough to realize you're not being smart.
Is that right?
You gotta learn how to ask.
I do.
You would be very surprised at how receptive I could be to the right proposal.
Danny doesn't deserve this. Well, nobody deserves GusH, that's for sure. But I'm sure that he arrested Danny in the most obnoxious way possible. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry about everything, Michelle.
Then do something. You know this isn't right.
Yeah, but I also know that there is enough evidence to charge Danny. And I can't do anything about that unless I know the truth. And I have asked you to tell me the truth, and you won't trust me.
Yeah, so you bugged our house, you called us down here and tricked us with this body that you
I didn't
found in
trick
the
you
water.
with that.
You were trying to scare Danny into cooperating with Itoro. I think you've done everything you can to help Itoro win this case.
I am assigned to Itoro, and I am assigned to this case. I am just doing my job.
Yeah, but isn't your job also to make sure justice is served regardless of the charges?
Yes, that's true.
We both know that Danny doesn't belong in prison. Harley, you can't just let him sit and rot in jail until the trial.
You know what? That's up to the judge. I've been going over the paperwork.
May I see?
Well, you'll have to wait till the arraignment. That's actually this afternoon. Ross called and changed it. He had it moved up. And now I have to handle it because Itoro is nowhere to be found.
Wait, you're handling Danny's arraignment?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well, then if you're really our friend, please help Danny make bail.
Whether or not Danny makes bail, that's not my call. That's out of my hands.
You just said you're standing in for Itoro.
Well, I am, but I'm just presenting the facts, that's all.
Well, let me tell you what the facts are. The prosecution is going to present Danny as a high flight risk, which we both know is not true.
We do?
You've seen Danny with Robbie. Do you think that he would abandon his own son? He's not Danny Santos, son of a mobster anymore. He's a loving husband. He's a wonderful father. He's someone who's worked really hard to turn his life around. Doesn't that count for anything?
Well, I think it does.
I'm not asking you to help him beat the charges. I know you can't do that. I'm just asking you to keep him out of jail so that we can defend ourselves. I think you owe us that much.
Well, let's get something straight. I don't owe you. I don't owe you or anybody else anything just because I'm doing my job, okay? A job that I swore an oath I do.
You're right.
My job.
I apologize.
I mean, I feel terrible for you, Michelle. I do.
Do you think Danny's a flight risk?
No,
Why not?
because I don't think he'd leave you holding the bag.
You're right. You're right. And I know that you don't like Itoro any more than we do. And you've seen how hard he's driven this investigation, how unfair his tactics
Yes, but I have
been.
also seen the results of what he's done.
Okay, but just stay with me for a second. Itoro has been after us for months now. He's wired our house. He's continually harassed everyone, including Aunt Maida. And did Danny skip town? No. No, and he could have at any time, but he didn't. Because he's innocent, and he wants to stay and fight for the life that we want together. He's not gonna leave, Harley. He's not.
I believe you. I do.
Well, then you can make a difference. If you will just testify to what you know and what you believe about Danny at this hearing. I'm not asking you to bend the law. I'm just asking you to do what's right.
I have to tell you, I am concerned about this evidence. But I'm also concerned about what seems to be Ituro's vendetta. I have to stay open to whatever happens at the hearing, okay? I'll do what I can.
Meaning what?
Meaning I'll do what I can.
What?
If I had a source,
You do have a source. Look at me. You have a source.
it would be a serious breach of my professional ethic to tell you his or her name.
Well, I understand that. I understand. Look, what can I do? What can I
Look.
to ease your pain?
If you want me to cooperate, if you want me to tell you what you want to know in strictest of confidence.
Of course, of strict confidence, strict, yes.
You have to tell me what you're going to do with the information. And you have to guarantee me that you will not jeopardize my source in any way.
Yeah, all right, I can commit to that.
Okay. There's more. In exchange for my source, I want Santos stories. Like the one you told me about the illegitimate son seeing Miguel and Danny at Wrigley Field. I want human interest. Think of anything you can get on that kid.
That was, that's just a little story that stuck in my head. I really don't know anything more than that. Hey, you want heartbreak, heartbreak stories. I can make that stuff up very well.
Real stories, real facts, or no source.
Right. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go into my computer. I'll pull up some files in Chicago. I'll come up with something.
Good. Let me know.
Right. Then what happens?
Well, if I'm pleased,
Yeah.
we'll make a deal.